So the road back to the Stanley Cup Finals has been a long and certainly tough one, as we just heard, for the Vancouver Canucks. So the pressure is on. And what should the Canucks be doing to perhaps mentally prepare for the series? Joining us now via broadband is Dr. Saul Miller. He is a sports and performance psychologist, and he joins us from Penticton, BC. Good afternoon, Dr. Miller.
Good afternoon. You know, the waitresses here are wearing their Canucks sweaters, serving breakfast in the interior of BC, so it's something that's really captured the spirit of the whole province.
Well, and I think also the country, and such high expectations for this team, waiting 17 years for this moment. I'm wondering, how is the team going to keep it all together?
Well, I think, you know, the nature of the playoffs is that it's a fairly lengthy process. So this is the fourth round of the playoffs. The first went Game 7. It was a high-pressured series. The next one was in 6 games, 5 games. And so there's a continual buildup. Of course, this is the finals. It's super exciting. But really, these guys have been preparing for quite some time. And I think what the coaches are going to be saying is, look, we're a very good team. We've got to continue to be doing exactly what we've been doing. They're watching a lot of video. They're looking at good stuff, the good stuff that they've done that's made them effective. They're going to look at 1 or 2 things that they have to improve. They're going to look at video on Boston. They're going to look at one of the things that Boston is good at that they can neutralize, and the things that Boston is poor at that they can exploit. So they're going to go in. They're going to go in there. They've had 8 days to prepare. They've had a bit of rest. They've had some high-tempo practices, a little bit of contact. They've had practice their very effective special teams. So I think, Sandy, that there's a sense that we're prepared for this. And I think preparation builds confidence.
Now, what about bringing in a team of professional psychologists, for example, to deal with any nerves or any angst that may occur? And I'm sure that, you know, Olympic athletes as well would go through the same thing.
Absolutely. Well, that kind of work is done earlier on. I mean, you don't want to change things dramatically. And I think the team has a staff psychologist, and early on they're working at teaching these guys how to manage their emotions so that, I'll tell you, as much as they can manage their emotions, when they step on the ice tonight and the roar of the crowd after the national anthem or during the national anthem, there's no question there's going to be chills that go through their bodies. However, a player has to know, I'm a good player. He has to know ABC, what he has to do to be effective. He's probably done a little bit of mental rehearsal where he's visualizing himself doing these things. He's able to manage his emotion, hopefully by taking a breath and regulating his emotional intensity. But these are things you learn over the course of the season or even in the off-season. It's not something you suddenly throw at people the night before a big game.
Right, makes sense. Okay, Dr. Saul Miller, thanks so much for your time.
One thing, the pressure is really on the goalies, because they're the people who, you know, they make a mistake and everybody sees it again and again.
Yeah, the buck stops here. Okay, good point. Thanks again.
Go Canucks.
Okay. So we asked our viewers online, you know, have you adopted the Vancouver Canucks as Canada's team now that they've made it to the final?